Hey everybody, today we are announcing our third whiskey in the Distillery Wars Shootout series. It's going to be the Old Forester 100 proof. Real excited, let's get into this one. Hey everybody, and thank you for joining me today here on Blind Whiskey Reviews, the most honest reviews on YouTube. As I mentioned, today we're making the announcement of our third whiskey in the Distillery Wars Shootout series. If you didn't catch the previous two, I am making a playlist for this entire series. It'll be linked up here. That way you can catch out all the videos in the series, catch out all the announcements, and in a couple weeks we'll be getting to the shootout. So if you want to check those out, everything is linked up here. Today we're obviously featuring Old Forester to represent Old Forester. This is the Old Forester 100 proof. And I kind of felt like this was the best one to fit the bill and the best representation that fit within the rules. And again, I made an announcement video for the series. If you didn't catch that, it is in the playlist. And one of the rules was that the whiskey had to be, under $30, between 90 and 101 proof, and it had to be widely available. And this one fits into all those categories. So I thought it'd be a great representation of a workhorse whiskey from Old Forester. So let's crack this bottle open and see how it's doing. This one's a screw top, so I'll give you the screw top crackle. There we go. This might be the first screw top we've done in a bottle opening on the channel, so that might be a first. Let's pour ourselves a little whiskey. Yeah, I don't think we've cracked a screw top on this yet, so that's kind of fun. Nice rich nose. First thing I get this like big pop of like dark fruit, cherry, plum. There's a hint of oak in here. It's a reasonably dark whiskey. Hint of oak, a little bit of vanilla. Not many like herbal or spicy notes to speak of on the nose, but it does smell fantastic. Anyways, enough smell in this thing. Let's get into the taste. Cheers. Yeah, it has that nice, rich Old Forester character. For me, Old Forester is always a touch sweet. This one stays in that realm. It's not overly sweet. There is a little bit of bitterness in the back end to kind of round it out, but it definitely is a sweeter whiskey. Lots of great flavors in there. Lots of intensity of flavor, which is great. So, not a ton of light fruit on this one. This one really stays more in that darker realm. Like I'd mentioned on the nose, you get a little bit of that cherry, like plum, black currant kind of character on the front, like that fruity, dark characters. Towards the mid palate, it switches into more of those standard bourbon notes. You get a little bit of like a dark brown sugar, molasses. Back of the palate, it bitters out just a little bit. You're getting some of that oak, some leather. There's a little bit of sweetness running through the back of the palate. The finish on this is nicely balanced. It's not too sweet where it's like cloying and you're left with this like overly sweet whiskey in your palate. It's nicely balanced with some bitter oak characters, which gives you a really great finish for this whiskey. So I have a feeling this one's going to do really well in this series. And for being a budget pour at being under $20, or well, it's definitely under $25, I was able to get this bottle for about 20 bucks. So a really great price for a really good whiskey, and definitely a great representative for Old Forester of a workhorse whiskey for this series. So I'm really excited to see how this one does. As I mentioned in the other videos I've done, I'm not doing the second half of this where we typically would do the first pour and then let the whiskey sit in the glass for 20 or 30 minutes to give it some airtime. You're gonna have plenty of time to see how this whiskey does in the upcoming shootout, which I'm really looking forward to. So as always, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at blind_reviews. You can follow me on Instagram as well at Mission Bottle Kill, and you can send me an email at blindwhiskeyreviews@gmail.com. So if you guys want to be a part of any of these future shootouts and give your input, definitely make sure you're following me on those platforms. I like to use those to kind of do my communicating with you guys a little bit more and to ask you guys questions about what you want to see. So Follow me on those platforms if you haven't already. I'm super excited for the rest of this to come up, so definitely stay tuned in the next day or two for our next whiskey announcement. Cheers.